Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's college football bowl results and look ahead to today's bowl games. College basketball, go over yesterday's games, look ahead to today's. Same for the NBA and the NHL. News and notes. Hit or miss 2019 MLB Draft Edition. And my best bet of the day. We're going to start with the college bowls. We will recap the games from last night and look ahead to the games today. Yesterday was a big window. Number 20, Houston over Auburn, 17-13 in the Birmingham Bowl. Houston finishes at 12-2, Auburn 6-7. Air Force over Louisville, 31-28. Air Force finishes 10-3. Louisville finishes 6-7. And that was the First Responder Bowl. The Holiday Bowl got postponed. UCLA had to back out because of COVID issues. Liberty Bowl, Texas over Mississippi State, 34-7. Boy, was I right on that one. Tech 7-6. Miss State 7-6. And then the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Minnesota over West Virginia, 18-6. Minnesota finishes 9-4, West Virginia 6-7. All right, now we look ahead to today's three games. The Fenway Bowl between SMU and Virginia got canceled. 2:15 ESPN, the Pinstripe Bowl, Maryland and Virginia Tech. My projection for this game is Maryland by 6.5, total 54-4. Meanwhile, on FanDuel, it is Maryland by 3.5, total of 54.5. I love Maryland minus the points here. I think that they have the better quarterback, the more talented quarterback in Talia Tagovailoa. And I think that they're going to win and cover this point spread. Alrighty, next up is the Cheez-It Bowl, number 19, Clemson and Iowa State, 5:45 on ESPN. My projection here is Clemson by 6.5, total 48-4. It's 2.5 and 44. I'm going to lay the points with Clemson. I don't feel good about it because of the absences of some players for them. But I like the over here as well. So I'm going to make the over the podcast play because I have a bigger edge on the over. I have almost a 4.5 point edge on the over and a 4 point edge on Clemson. So podcast plays me to over, and I also like Clemson minus the points. And last but not least, 9:15 ESPN, the Valero Alamo Bowl, number 14 Oregon, number 16 Oklahoma. Good game. My projection is Oklahoma by 3.5, total 59-75. Meanwhile, it's 6.5 and 60.5. I'm going to take Oregon in the points here. I think that this is a closer game than people expect. Looks like Anthony Brown's going to play. But I know that both of these teams are in some changes, and I think Brett Venables is going to work out for Oklahoma. And for Oregon, Dan Lenning will work out as well. So I'm going to take Oregon and the points, and I have a slight edge on the under as well. All right, so there you have it for the bowls for today. And now I'll move on to college basketball. We will recap the games from last night, and we will look ahead to the games for today. So yesterday wasn't that big of a slate because obviously all the cancellations. All All right, so number 25, Texas Tech over Alabama State, 75-53. Number 4, Gonzaga over Alabama, 93-63. Jacksonville State over Carver College, 123-59. Number 1, Baylor over Northwestern State, 104-68. Southern Illinois over Grambling, 75-64. Drake over Mount Mary College, 82-53. Notre Dame over Pittsburgh, 68-67. Number 17, Texas over Incarnate Word, 78-33. Maryland over Lehigh, 76-55. San Francisco over Academy of Art, 111-78. Boise State over Fresno State, 65-55. Cal Baptist over La Verne, 96-41. St. Mary's over Yale, 87-60. New England was canceled and postponed. Connecticut College, St. Peter's, Hartford, Cornell, James Madison, Penn. Siena American, Sacramento State, Oregon State. New Orleans, number 13, Ohio State. UConn, number 23, Xavier. Prairie View, Valpo. Eastern Michigan, Ohio. Cincinnati, number 12, Houston. LSU, Alexandria, North Texas. Maryland, Eastern Columbia. Hope International, Long Beach State. UC Riverside, UC Davis. Georgetown, Creighton. And number 20, Colorado State and New Mexico. Now we look ahead to tonight's games, which is a much larger window. So we have a forfeit, Fairleigh Dickinson over Mount St. Mary's because Mount St. Mary's forfeit. Although I wonder if they will change that rule in the NEC or not. New Hampshire, Dartmouth postponed. 2 o'clock, Southeast Baptist, Jackson State, we could skip. Number 2, Duke Clemson postponed. 3 o'clock on the Big Ten Network, you have High Point, number 10, Michigan State. My projection is Michigan State by 27.5. And Michigan State is giving 23.5 totals, 134.5. I'll lay the points. Utah State and Air Force. My projection is Utah State by 9. And it's 12.5 and 131. I'll take Air Force in the points. SC State, South Carolina postponed. Carver College, Jacksonville, we can skip at 4 o'clock. Miami and Buffalo, Miami of Ohio, I should say. My projection is Buffalo by 10. And it's 7.5 and 151.5. I'll lay it with Buffalo. Central Michigan and Kent State at 4:30. By the way, Texas Southern TCU canceled. My projection is Kent State 17.5. And it's 15.5 and 139.5. I'll lay the points with Kent. 5 o'clock Big Ten Network, Nichols and number 3 Purdue. My projection is Purdue by 21. And it's 27.5 and 146.5. I'll take Nichols in the points. The Paul Butler on Fox Sports 1. My projection is Butler by 6.5. And it's 1.5 and 132. I'll lay it with Butler. Arkansas State and Mississippi State on the SEC Network. My projection is Arkansas by 2.5. And it's Mississippi State by 3.5. Total 143.5. I'm taking Arkansas plus a 2.5. And plus 140 to win on the money line. Farmingdale State, Stony Brook, we could skip. 7 o'clock ESPN 2. Number 16 LSU, number 11 Auburn. My projection is Auburn by 2.25. And the line is 4 and 140. Let's go with the over. Number 15, Seton Hall. Number 21, Providence on Fox Sports 1. My projection here is a pick'em. And this line is Providence is a 1-point favorite, total of 137.5. We'll go with the over here. Missouri and number 18, Kentucky on the SEC Network. My projection is Kentucky by 20.25. It's 19.5 and 140.5. I'll take the over. Georgia Tech and Syracuse. Oh, no, that got postponed. It's Cornell Syracuse now. I don't have a line for this. I'm sorry. But Syracuse is favored by 15. If I did a projection on the fly, this would be, let's see here. This would be an interesting line for sure. 14.25. So I just did that really quick. And this line is 15 and 162. I'll take the under. That's very high. Midway, Indiana State, we can skip. Wichita State, Eastern Carolina. My projection is Wichita by 7. And Wichita is giving 5.5 total 130. 5.5. I'll take the under. I think that's a lower scoring game. Eastern University, Lehigh, we can skip. Eastern Illinois and Morehead State. My projection is Morehead by 20.75. And it's 19.5 and 128.5. I'll take the over. Gardner-Webb, Georgia. My projection is Georgia by 5. And it's 4.5 and 143.5. I'll take the over. Wagner, St. Francis, Pennsylvania. My projection is Wagner by 14.25. And it's 6.5 and 140.5. I'll lay with Wagner. LIU, Sacred Heart. My projection is LIU by 3/4. And it is Sacred Heart 2.5 total 147.5. I'll take LIU plus the 2.5 and plus 128 to win outright. St. Francis, Brooklyn, and Merrimack. My projection here is Merrimack by 9. And it's 6.5 and 120.5. I'll lay it with Merrimack. Bryant and Central Con State. My projection is Bryant by 11.25. Meanwhile, it's 7.5 and 142.5. I'll lay with Bryant. VMI Wofford. My projection is Wofford by 7. And this line is 11.5 and 140.5. I'll take VMI in the points. Sanford Furman. My projection is Furman by 8. And it's 11.5 and 148.5. I'll take Sanford in the points. Hofstra and William and Mary. My projection is this line I did a little incorrectly from a math standpoint. Well, no way William and Mary should be favored by as much as I had him written down. So let's see here. I would make this Hofstra by 13.75 as the line. And it's 13.5 and 144.5. I'll take the over. Delaware and UNC Wilmington. My projection is Wilmington as a 10-point home underdog, and Delaware's given only 3.5 totals, 138 or 136.5. I'll lay with Delaware. Northeastern and Alon. My projection is Northeastern by 8. And it's 4.5 and 132.5. I'll lay with Northeastern. Western Michigan and Toledo. My projection is Toledo by 16.5. And it is 18.5 and 146.5. I'll take Western in the points. Nevada at number 6, Kansas. My projection is Kansas by 15.75. Meanwhile, it is 16.5 and 157.5. I'll take the under. Illinois State at number 24, Wisconsin. My projection is Wisconsin by a whopping 23. And it's 16 and 139. I'll lay the 16 with Wisconsin. SMU Tulsa. My projection is SMU by 3.25. Meanwhile, it's 2.5 and 141.5. I'll take the over. Memphis Tulane, my projection is Memphis by 8.25. And it's 9.5 and 141.5. I'll take the over. North Central Minnesota and St. Thomas, Minnesota, we can skip. North Florida and Kansas State, my projection is Kansas State by 13.5. And it's 18.5 and 138.5. I'll take North Florida and the points. Alcorn, Minnesota, my projection is Minnesota by 30.25. Now it's 18.5 and 134.5. I'll lay with Minnesota. Western Illinois and Iowa. My projection is Iowa by 7.5, and it's 17.5 and 162.5. I'll take Western in the points. Wake and Louisville. My projection is Louisville by 4.75. This game's on the ACC network, and it is 5.5 and 141. I'll take the over. Central Arkansas and Texas A&M. My projection is A&M by 25.25. And I don't think I see a line for... Oh, here it is. 25.5 and 145.5. Over. Next up, 9 o'clock, ESPN 2. Number 14, Tennessee, and number 19, Alabama. Great game. My projection is Alabama by 1.25. And it is 2.5 and 148.5. I'll take the over. Temple and number 22, Villanova, postponed. We just learned. So that is unfortunate. NC State, Miami on ESPNU at 9 o'clock. My projection is Miami by 8. And it's 3.5 and 145.5. I'll lay with Miami. Westminster, Utah, and BYU we can skip. And last but not least, Washington State on ESPNU at 11 o'clock. My projection is Wazoo by 9, and it's 13.5 and 137. I'll take Washington and the points in that one. All right, now move on to the NBA. We will recap the games from last night, and we look ahead to a nice window of games for tonight. Bucks over the Magic, 127-110. Heat over the Wizards, 119-112. 76ers over the Raptors, 114-109. Lakers over the Rockets, 132-123. Knicks over the Timberwolves, 96-88. Pelicans over the Cavs, 108-104. Nuggets over the Warriors, 89-86. Kings over the Thunder, 117-111. All right, now we look ahead to tonight. 7 o'clock, you have the Knicks and the Pistons. My projections for this game is Knicks 18. I do totals. And it is 6 and 205.5. I'll lay to 6 with the New York Knicks. Hornets Pacers. My projection is Indiana by 4. And it's 3 and 228.5 for once I have an edge on Indiana. But I'm going to go with the under because of some COVID and injury issues for the Hornets. 7:30 of the Clippers and the Celtics. My projection here is Boston by 4.25. Meanwhile, it's 6 and 209.5. And I'm going to take the over. 8 o'clock, Hawks Bulls. My projection is Chicago by 9. And it's 8.5 and 222. I'm going to go with the under because of the Chicago defense and some players in protocol. NBA TV at 8 o'clock is the Lakers and the Grizzlies. My projection is Memphis by 6.25. And it's 4.5 and 227. I'll take the under. That's a high total. At 8:30, the Heat and the Spurs. My projection is the Heat by 3.5. A ton of injuries in this game on both sides. And it's the Spurs by 3, total 217.5. Like, is DeJounte Murray back or something? I don't think so. Give me the Heat plus the 3 and plus 128 to win outright. The Thunder and the Suns at 9. My projection is Phoenix by 23. And it's 14.5 and 216.5. I'll lay it with the Suns. Jazz Trailblazers at 10 o'clock. My projection is Jazz by 12 and 3/4. And it's 6.5 and 228.5. I'll lay the 6.5 with the Jazz. And last but not least, the Mavericks and the Kings at 10:30 on NBA TV. My projection is Sacramento by 5 and 3/4. And it's Dallas 1.5, total 219.5. Where's Luka? Not playing. Give me Sacramento plus 1.5 and plus 104 on the money line. Now we'll recap the hockey games from last night, and we will look ahead to tonight's window of games. Lightning over the Canadiens 5-4 in OT on a game winner by Andre Palat. Golden Knights over the Kings 6-3. And the Sharks over the Coyotes 8-7 in a shootout. Oh my God. Like, that's wild with that score. All right, now we look ahead to tonight. A lot of games postponed. 7 o'clock, you have the Devils and the Sabres. The Devils are minus 137. Buffalo's plus 114. Over under 6. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 115. Devils minus 1.5 is plus 190. Buffalo plus 1.5 is minus 240. Give me Buffalo as a home dog. These two teams have the same number of points. Next up is Rangers Panthers. Florida's minus 178. The Rangers are plus 146. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 170. Florida minus 1.5 is plus 138. I like the over in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game potentially from both sides. Rangers has some COVID stuff, so I like the over in that game a lot. Preds Capitals. Washington minus 160. Preds plus 132. Over under 6. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Nashville plus 1.5 is minus 192. Caps minus 1.5 is plus 154. For this one, I'm going to go under 6, minus 112. I think Juicy Sorrow will put up a good game. I don't know if they'll win, but I like the under a lot. Postponed games, Penguins, Leafs, Bruins, Sens, Red Wings, Islanders, Blackhawks, Jets. 8:30 to Oilers and the Blues. Blues minus 138, Edmonton plus 115, over under 6.5. Overs minus 106, unders minus 114. Edmonton plus 1.5 is minus 215. St. Louis minus 1.5 is plus 172. For this one, we're going to go over 6.5 and minus 106. Stars Avalanche postponed 10 o'clock. You have the Flyers and the Kraken. The Kraken are minus 140. Flyers plus 116. Over under 6.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Flyers plus 1.5 is minus 215. Kraken minus 1.5 is plus 172. This is going to be another overplay for me. I think this is going to be yet another high-scoring game. And at 10:30, the Canucks and the Ducks. The Ducks are minus 114. The Canucks are minus 105. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 110. Unders minus 112. Canucks plus 1.5 is minus 290. Anaheim minus 1.5 is plus 225. The Canucks have been on fire under Bruce Boudreau. The Canucks have won 6 straight games under Bruce Boudreau. I'm just going to keep betting them until they lose. So give me Vancouver to win their 7th straight to get back to 500 under Bruce Boudreau. All right, now we're going to do news and notes. There's a few items that I would like to get to today, of course. So, the NBA denied a request from the Chicago Bulls for a disabled player exception for Patrick Williams, which I thought was wrong of the league to do that. The big news, though, of yesterday was that John Madden passed away at the age of 85. It was an unexpected passing. Hall of Fame coach and broadcaster. Very beloved by everybody. This is the saddest loss the NFL's had in a while. Arguably the most impactful person in NFL history. He's the reason why the video game's out. It comes out yearly. He was the best color commentator of all time. The best coach in Raiders franchise history. And everybody's just been pouring out emotions and memories on social media over the last 12 hours or so. It was just very sad, and thoughts and prayers to John Madden and his family. Ricky Rubio carted off the floor against the Pelicans with the left knee injury. Evan Mobley came back for Cleveland tonight after clearing health and safety protocols. The NFL revised isolation rules as they agreed to a 5-day isolation instead of a 10-day for asymptomatic people who have tested positive for COVID. That's in the wake of the CDC changes from the other day as well. Trevor Zegras in COVID protocol. That's unfortunate for the Ducks. And I think that could come back to bite him tonight against Vancouver. Braden Point came back last night after an upper body injury. Jaguars head coaching search is a big deal. Brian Leftwich, Todd Bowles, Doug Peterson, Kellen Moore among the gentlemen on the Jaguars list to become their next head coach. Obviously, this is an enticing job. Trevor Lawrence, some young talent. I know the franchise is a mess, but they need somebody good. I mean, it would be nice to see Eric Bieniemy get an opportunity. Just saying, because he's been an offensive coordinator for so long now, and I think he's ready. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving clear protocols, as well as LaMarcus Aldridge. That's good news for the Brooklyn Nets. And then some non-sports news for you. New York City Ballet cancels the remainder of Nutcracker performances due to the COVID-19 surge. Hugh Jackman tests positive for COVID, and the music band canceled through New Year's Day. New York City rapper K Flock charged in fatal shooting at Harlem barbershop. That's just unfortunate. And then the Westchester DA won't prosecute Cuomo over allegedly kissing 2 women. Like, come on. Like, this is going to go on a while, and I think Cuomo is in for some serious trouble ahead. All right, now I'm going to do my hit or miss segment that I like to do on the show. And the one I have up right now is the 2019 Major League Baseball draft of what teams hit and missed on their first-round picks. All right, the Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman, the catcher, that's an obvious hit. The Kansas City Royals at number 2, Bobby Witt Jr., the shortstop. That is an absolute hit for them. Obviously, both players in AAA. Andrew Vaughn, White Sox at number 3, is an absolute hit. He's made it to the big leagues already. Number 4, the Miami Marlins, J.J. Bleday. This is one of the more interesting ones. Sometimes it doesn't take as quite a while. But right now, I gotta say a miss. Compared to the first 3 guys that we talked about, this looks like a miss for Miami right now. Detroit Tigers at number 5 went with the outfielder Riley Green. And at the moment, this pick for the Tigers looks like a hit, even though it's, he might be in the big leagues not as quick as like Adley Rutschman. But right now, this looks like a no-brainer hit for the Detroit Tigers. Number 6, the San Diego Padres, C.J. Abrams, the shortstop. He got hurt in the middle of the year last year, which was unfortunate for him. But right now, I'm just going to give this a hit because he's good. But the question is, what happens to him long term? Number 7, the Cincinnati Reds went with Nick Lodolo, the pitcher. And right now, I would say this pick by the Reds was a hit because he really has put together some good performances throughout his young career so far. Next up, number 8, Josh Jung, third base from the Texas Rangers. At the moment, this is a no-brainer hit. He's a hitting machine. He's a power machine. This kid's going to be a star. Next up, number 9, the Atlanta Braves, Shea Langoliers, the catcher. And right now, this is a hard call, but I'm going to say a hit because he provides great power despite a ton of strikeouts. Number 10, Hunter Bishop, the outfielder, San Francisco Giants. At the moment, right now, I will say that Hunter Bishop's a miss. I'm sorry. He just hasn't had a good minor league career so far. Number 11, Toronto Blue Jays, Alek Manoah. That's an absolute hit. He's amazing. Number 12, the New York Mets, Brett Baty. That's a good one, but right now I'm going to say hit. He really came through last year of his own, and he's a versatile player as well. Number 13, the Minnesota Twins, Keone Cavaco. Right now, that is a miss. I'm sorry. He just hasn't performed up to caliber yet. Number 14, the Philadelphia Phillies, Bryson Scott. And right now, I'd say a hit. Him for good average, really improved on his power game last year. Number 15, the Los Angeles Angels, Will Wilson. I think there's a chance that he's in a different organization. Yeah, he was traded to the Giants. That's what I thought. And for right now, this was a hard one because obviously he was thrown into that trade that sent Zach Kozar to the Giants with that big salary. And Wilson was just a throw-in in that deal, to sweeten the deal. So, that said, I think the Angels hit on the pick. Like, from a talent standpoint in a way. But this is a miss because they had to throw him in that deal. And then from a Giants standpoint, this looks like a miss too. Number 16, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. At the moment, I would say this is a no-brainer hit. This guy can flat out hit. And he only played in 7 games last year, which is unfortunate for him. Number 17, the Washington Nationals, Jackson Rutledge. I'd say a miss. He was not good last year. And I think that it's going to be a little longer than you think for him to be in the big leagues. Number 18, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Quinn Priester. Tough one, but I'm going to say a hit. He's been solid. And I think he's a guy that could potentially get better. Excuse me. 19, the St. Louis Cardinals, Zach Thompson. Right now, I'd say it's a miss. He was really bad last year for the Redbirds of Memphis. Number 20, the Seattle Mariners, George Kirby. At the time, I thought it was a hit of a pick. And he's become a hit of a prospect as well. He's really, really solid. Number 21, the Atlanta Braves, Braden Shoemake. And right now, tough one. He was really good 2 years ago, but stunk last year, or this past season. So I'm going to say miss. Number 22, the Tampa Bay Rays, Greg Jones. Why do I feel like he was also traded? No, he hasn't been. Okay. Maybe it was rumored to go in a deal. But right now, I would say this pick's a hit. He has a good average and power game to himself. So, I think Greg Jones is turning into a fine asset for the Rays. So, I'm going to say hit. The Colorado Rockies, Michael Toglia. I'd say miss, even though he has a lot of power. But the average just isn't there. OPS and slugging really isn't there. Number 24, the Cleveland Indians, Daniel Espino. Oh, they're the Guardians now. Can't forget that, but they're still the Indians when they drafted him. Tough one, but I'm going to say hit because despite ERA not being the best, he excels in other areas. 25, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Cody Housey. Right now, I'd say this is a tough one. I'm going to say a miss because he wasn't as good as he was 2 years ago. Number 26, the Arizona Diamondbacks, Blake Walston. And for right now, I'm going to say this was a hit. Very solid numbers across the board. So Blake Walston, I'd say hit for the time being. 27, the Chicago Cubs, Ryan Jensen. I'm going to say that Ryan Jensen so far is a bit of a miss. But I'm going to say hit because the rest of the numbers are good. Other than ERA. So a hit for that. 28, the Milwaukee Brewers, Ethan Small. That's an absolute hit. This could be the next Corbin Mertz for this team. Number 29, the Oakland Athletics, Logan Davidson. I'm going to say a miss. He really hasn't put it all together yet. Number 30, the New York Yankees. Anthony Volpe, that's a major hit. He really broke out in a big way this year. Power, average, patience at the plate. Like, everything about him really just broke out. So, Anthony Volpe, to me, is a monster hit for the Yankees. And at 31, the Los Angeles Dodgers, Michael Busch. For this one, I'm going to say... that's a tough one. Did they trade him? I just don't even see him in the top 30, which is wild. Oh, never mind, he's number 3. I just passed him. Yeah. I would say a hit. He really broke through this past year. And last but not least, the Houston Astros at 32. Corey Lee. And to me, that's a hit. I criticized the pick at the time, but he really has exceeded expectations so far. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. Yeah, that was a fun little segment there. So last night's best bet was a loser, as I had the Wizards getting the points against the Heat. Today I'm going to go back to the NBA. I don't know why this is at 5.5. And this team was getting bet against yesterday, but ultimately covered. I'm going to lay the 5.5 points of the New York Knicks tonight against the Pistons. I don't take the Knicks very often as best bet, but this is just the perfect opportunity. COVID and injuries galore at the Pistons. The only key player the Knicks are missing is Derrick Rose, so I'm going to lay the 5.5 with New York against the Pistons. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything. College football, Bulls, college basketball, NBA, NHL, looking ahead to tomorrow. And obviously, I'll have news and notes and best bet and NBA power rankings too. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.